What would you do if you discovered that there is a place in the United States where people disappear with a statistically impossible frequency, creating such an anomalous pattern that it has forced federal authorities to acknowledge that we are dealing with something that transcends coincidence? The Canoe Creek Bridge in Oregon is only 400 meters long, a distance you can walk in less than 5 minutes, but it has recorded 23 documented disappearances in 15 years, creating a macabre rate of 1 disappearance for every 17 meters of structure. To put this statistic into perspective, the famous Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, known worldwide as one of the most tragic suicide spots, has a rate of approximately 1 death every 50 meters along its nearly 2,800 meters of length. The Canoe Creek Bridge, less than 1/6 the size, registers a concentration of disappearances 3 times higher, officially becoming the location with the highest density of disappearances per mile in the entire United States. Known locally as the Bridge of Lost Souls, this seemingly ordinary structure spanning a small rural valley in central Oregon has become a symbol of a mystery that defies both scientific explanation and conventional public safety protocols. Have you ever experienced this? Have you ever felt that certain places carry an energy or atmosphere that you can't rationally explain, but that affects your emotional state in inexplicable ways? The bridge's sinister reputation is not fair product of local folklore or media sensationalism, but the result of meticulous documentation maintained by the Oregon Department of Transportation and the Yamhill County Sheriff's Office, which, since 2008, has recorded every incident related to the structure with precision that rivals complex criminal investigations. In October 2023, something happened that transformed this local mystery into an investigation of national importance. Security cameras installed on the bridge as part of a monitoring system implemented after the 20th disappearance captured footage that forced experts to reconsider all previous theories about why people disappear at this specific location with such alarming frequency. What makes the disappearances at Canoe Creek Bridge even more disturbing is that they don't follow typical patterns associated with bridges known as suicide hotspots. Most of the victims weren't facing documented personal crises, hadn't left suicidal notes, or expressed intentions of self-harm, and even more unsettlingly in several cases, bodies were never recovered despite extensive search operations that included specialized divers, helicopters with thermal imaging, and even psychics hired by desperate families. Stay with me until the end, because the analysis of the October recordings revealed behavioral patterns that challenge conventional understanding of how people make decisions that result in disappearances. The images show individuals acting in ways that suggest influences or compulsions that transcend rational decision-making, raising questions about whether we are dealing with a psychological phenomenon, environmental factors, or something even more extraordinary. What you are about to discover may surprise you, because the investigation into the Bridge of Lost Souls has revealed aspects of this mystery that go far beyond simple tragic coincidence. Pattern analysis has revealed correlations between disappearances and factors including weather, conditions, time of day, and even lunar cycles, suggesting that something systematic may be influencing human behavior in this specific location. The history of this bridge forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about the nature of certain places and their impact on human psychology and behavior. If locations can genuinely influence people to take actions that result in tragedy with a consistency that transcends statistical probability, this has profound implications for our understanding of geographic psychology and public safety in areas that exhibit similar patterns. Now let's explore exactly where this bridge is located, what makes it architecturally and geographically unique, and how its location in one of the most remote and isolated regions of Oregon may be contributing to its reputation as the most dangerous place per capita for travelers in the United States. But before we delve into the specific characteristics that make the Canoe Creek Bridge such an extraordinary and unsettling phenomenon, I need to share something important with you. When I began investigating this case, I realized that we are dealing with a mystery that goes far beyond statistics on bridge accidents. We are exploring a phenomenon that touches on fundamental questions about how certain places can influence human behavior, in ways that challenge our current understanding of geographic psychology and public safety. If this topic resonates with you, if you've also ever had that inexplicable feeling that certain places carry an energy or atmosphere that affects your emotional state, leave a comment below about what has resonated with you the most so far. Have you ever been to a place that made you feel uncomfortable for no apparent reason? Or perhaps you know of other bridges or structures with similar reputations. Your participation here is what makes this channel grow and reach more people with this type of investigative content that explores real mysteries affecting real communities and families. And look, if you're feeling that unease I felt when I first discovered the impossible numbers of the Canoe Creek Bridge and realized we're dealing with something that transcends statistical coincidence, click the like button below. It shows me I'm on the right track, bringing up cases that truly matter and that can help raise awareness about phenomena affecting public safety in ways that authorities can't always explain or adequately address. The shift in understanding why this particular bridge attracts so many disappearances began when environmental psychology experts analyzed unique characteristics of the location that distinguish it from other problematic bridges in the United States. The Canoe Creek Bridge is situated in an area where multiple factors converge to create what researchers call a perfect storm of psychological influences that can affect visitors in ways that other similar bridges cannot replicate. The impact of the isolated Muir location cannot be underestimated when analyzing the phenomenon of disappearances. The bridge is located in a particularly remote section of Highway 18, approximately 15 miles west of McMinnville, in a region characterized by rolling hills, dense forests, and an atmosphere of solitude that many travelers find simultaneously beautiful and unsettling. More significantly, the bridge is positioned at a point where drivers frequently stop to appreciate panoramic views of the valley below, creating opportunities for prolonged contemplation that can intensify already vulnerable emotional states. The journey through the structural analysis of the bridge revealed architectural features that, while not individually unique, combine to create a distinctive sensory experience. The structure rises approximately 85 feet above Canoe Creek, creating a drop that is high enough to be fatal but not uncommon for bridges of its category. However, the bridge's design includes side barriers that are lower than modern standards, and the width of the sidewalk allows pedestrians to approach the edge dangerously easily. The hidden truth about the bridge's structural condition is that it was built in 1987 according to safety codes that were adequate for the time, but which did not anticipate the volume of pedestrian traffic it would eventually attract. The bridge was designed primarily for vehicular traffic, with minimal consideration for pedestrian safety or the prevention of intentional jumps. Even more disturbing, later renovations focused on structural integrity for vehicles, but did little to address vulnerabilities related to pedestrian safety. The mindset behind the bridge's design decisions reflected typical 1980s assumptions about rural bridge construction, where primary concerns included durability, cost-effectiveness, and accommodation of traffic patterns projected for the region. Safety measures specifically designed to prevent suicides or accidental falls were not standard practice for bridges of this category in 1987, creating a legacy of vulnerability that persists to this day. A behind-the-scenes comparison between the Canoe Creek Bridge and other problematic bridges in the United States revealed crucial differences that may explain why this specific location developed such a sinister reputation. While famous bridges like the Golden Gate Bridge or the Aurora Bridge in Seattle have well-documented and understood histories of suicides, they also have traffic volumes, public visibility, and prevention resources that the Canoe Creek Bridge lacks. The revelations about what differentiates this bridge include isolation factors that create opportunities for prolonged contemplation without intervention, acoustic properties that can intensify emotional states through sound amplification or eerie silence, and visual perspectives that combine panoramic beauty with a sense of vertigo that can be psychologically overwhelming for individuals already in vulnerable states. The decision to compare Canoe Creek Bridge with other bridges revealed that most notorious suicide bridges share certain characteristics: high traffic volumes that provide anonymity, iconic status that attracts intentional visits, and sufficient height to guarantee fatality. However, Canoe Creek Bridge possesses a unique combination of isolation, accessibility, and environmental factors that create conditions where people can be influenced by impulses that they would not have in other locations. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject because the analysis of the 23 documented disappearances since 2008 has revealed statistical patterns that transcend any explanation based on coincidence or simple tragic accident, forcing investigators to consider possibilities that challenge conventional understanding of the relationship between geography and human behavior. Comment below. This place has a strange energy. If you're also noticing that the unique combination of isolation, structural features, and environmental factors of the Canoe Creek Bridge creates conditions that can genuinely influence human behavior in ways that other similar bridges cannot replicate. Analysis of the 23 documented disappearances since 2008 has revealed statistical patterns that transcend any explanation based on coincidence or simple tragic accidents, forcing investigators to consider possibilities that challenge conventional understanding of the relationship between geography and human behavior. The transformation in perception about the Canoe Creek Bridge occurred when applied statistics experts began systematically mapping the disappearance data and realized they were dealing with numbers that defy all known probabilities for similar structures. The impact of the numbers becomes truly shocking when placed in national perspective. 23 documented disappearances in 15 years on a structure of only 400 meters creates a rate of approximately 1.5 disappearances per year on a bridge that is not particularly famous, is not located in a dense urban area, and does not possess a historical reputation that would attract intentional visits from people in suicidal crises. A journey through comparison with national statistics on bridge suicides revealed that the Canoe Creek Bridge has a mortality rate that is 1,200% higher than the national average for bridges of a similar category. To put this into even starker perspective, the famous Golden Gate Bridge, which records approximately 25-30 suicides per year, is 2.7 kilometers long, more than 6 times longer than the Canoe Creek Bridge, but has a significantly lower per meter rate. The hidden truth about why experts consider the numbers statistically anomalous emerges when you analyze not only frequency, but also the demographics of the victims and the circumstances of the disappearances. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a forensic statistician at the University of Oregon who studied the phenomenon, explained that the probability of 23 people disappearing on a bridge of this size in 15 years, considering its rural location and lack of notoriety, is approximately 1 in 50 million. Essentially impossible under normal circumstances. The investigative mindset had to adapt when demographic patterns revealed characteristics of the victims that did not align with typical profiles of suicide bridge fatalities. Approximately 60% of the people who disappeared at Canoe Creek Bridge were individuals with no documented history of mental health issues, were not facing significant financial or personal crises, and in many cases had made plans for the future that were inconsistent with suicidal ideation. Behind-the-scenes demographic analysis revealed that victims ranged in age from 19 to 67 years, with a slight predominance of males, 14 cases, over females, 9 cases, but without a specific concentration in any particular age group that would be typical for suicide patterns. More significantly, approximately 40% of the victims were individuals who were traveling through the area for the first time and had no prior knowledge of the bridge or its reputation. The findings regarding geographic patterns showed that victims came from a wide geographic distribution, including 5 different states, suggesting that they were not dealing with a local phenomenon that attracted specific populations. Background checks revealed that victims included teachers, engineers, retired individuals, students, and professionals from various fields, a cross-section that did not suggest common vulnerability factors that could explain concentrated risk. The decision to analyze temporal patterns revealed correlations that are even more puzzling. Disappearances were not distributed evenly throughout the year, but showed clustering during certain months that corresponded with specific atmospheric conditions, including periods of high-pressure systems and particular wind patterns that affect the acoustic properties of the area. The transformation in the understanding of statistical anomalies included the recognition that conventional models for predicting suicide rates on bridges failed to account for the numbers observed on the Canoe Creek Bridge. Typical variables such as population density, economic factors, availability of mental health resources, and media coverage did not explain the concentration of cases that continued to occur despite a lack of publicity or a notorious reputation outside the local area. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this subject because some of the individual cases that make up these statistics revealed such disturbing and inexplicable circumstances that they forced investigators to question whether they were dealing with conventional suicides or something fundamentally different that challenges our understanding of how people make final decisions in life or death situations. Some of the individual cases that make up these statistics revealed circumstances so disturbing and inexplicable that they forced investigators to question whether they were dealing with conventional suicides or something fundamentally different that challenges our understanding of how people make final decisions in life or death situations. The shift in investigative approach occurred when authorities realized that several of the disappearances exhibited characteristics that completely contradicted established patterns for suicidal behavior, forcing a fundamental reassessment of the nature of the events at Canoe Creek Bridge. The impact of cases that don't follow suicide patterns became evident when investigators meticulously analyzed the victims' life circumstances in the days and weeks leading up to their disappearances. Jennifer Walsh, a 34-year-old nurse who disappeared in September 2019, had just received a promotion at work, was planning her wedding for the following year, and had sent enthusiastic messages to friends about weekend plans just 2 hours before she vanished. Her last social media posts showed a happy, optimistic woman, completely engaged with life. The journey through analyzing similar cases revealed a consistent pattern of people who were experiencing periods of stability or even happiness in their lives when they disappeared. Marcus Chen, a 28-year-old software engineer, had just bought his first home and was celebrating a new job at a tech company when he disappeared in March 2021. David Rodriguez, a 59-year-old retired professor, was traveling through Oregon with his wife to celebrate their 35th wedding anniversary when he stopped on a bridge to take pictures and simply never returned to the car. The hidden truth about these cases is that they challenge fundamental assumptions about suicidal motivation and decision-making in times of crisis. Traditional suicide prevention education teaches that people at risk exhibit specific warning signs: social isolation, expressions of hopelessness, dramatic changes in behavior, or direct statements about intentions. The Canoe Creek Bridge cases frequently present the exact opposite: individuals who were engaged, optimistic, and making plans for the immediate future. The investigative mindset had to evolve when analysis revealed that approximately 70% of the cases did not present any of the traditional risk factors for suicide. Even more disturbing, many victims had stopped on the bridge for seemingly mundane reasons: photo opportunities, mechanical problems with vehicles, or simple curiosity about scenic views, and then disappeared without any apparent trigger event or moment of decision. Behind the scenes of the search efforts, another extraordinary aspect of the disappearances was revealed. Despite extensive search operations that included dive teams, helicopter surveys with thermal imaging, and ground searches covering a radius of several miles around the bridge, bodies were recovered in less than 40% of the cases. This statistic is virtually unprecedented for bridge suicides, where bodies are typically found within days due to the physics of falling from a specific height into the water below. The most unsettling revelations involve what investigators have begun calling group disappearances, events where multiple people vanished from the bridge within short time periods or even simultaneously. In August 2020, two people who did not know each other, Sarah Kim, a graduate student, and Robert Martinez, a truck driver, disappeared on the bridge within 45 minutes of each other. Witnesses reported that both individuals were acting normally until moments before disappearing. The decision to investigate connections between group disappearances revealed that on at least 3 occasions, People disappeared in pairs or small groups despite having no prior relationship or shared circumstances that would suggest a coordinated suicide pact. The most disturbing case occurred in October 2022 when a family of 4, parents and 2 teenage children, disappeared after parking their car on the bridge for a family vacation photo session. The transformation in understanding the nature of these cases included the recognition that traditional explanatory frameworks for suicide behavior were inadequate to account for observed patterns. Investigation of a family disappearance revealed that the family had been planning an extensive vacation. The children were excited about upcoming school events, and the parents had made reservations for restaurants and activities throughout their trip. Behavior completely inconsistent with planned family suicide. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this subject because the security recordings from October 2023 finally captured visual evidence of the moments leading up to the disappearances, revealing behavioral patterns that challenge every previous assumption about what actually happens when people approach the bridge and subsequently vanish without a trace. Comment below, cases don't make sense. If you're also noticing that the disappearances at the Bridge of Lost Souls exhibit characteristics that contradict everything we know about suicide behavior and suggest that something far more complex and unexplainable is happening at that location. Security footage from October 2023 finally captured visual evidence of the moments leading up to the disappearances, revealing behavioral patterns that challenge all previous assumptions about what actually happens when people approach the bridge and subsequently vanish without a trace. The shift in the investigation occurred when authorities installed a high-resolution security camera system in response to the increasing disappearances, inadvertently documenting behavior that forced a complete reconceptualization of the Canoe Creek Bridge phenomenon. The impact of what the cameras recorded was profound and disturbing for investigators who had hoped to document actions that would confirm suicidal intentions or explain disappearances through conventional understanding. Instead, the footage revealed sequences of behavior that appeared normal until final moments, when victims exhibited sudden shifts in demeanor that suggested influences or compulsions that transcended rational decision-making processes. The journey through forensic analysis of the recordings revealed perplexing consistencies in the victim's behavior that could not be explained by traditional models of psychological crisis or impulsive decision-making. Dr. Michael Torres, a behavioral analyst hired by the Oregon State Police, observed that individuals demonstrated behavior patterns that were completely inconsistent with documented cases of bridge suicides or accidental falls. Movements suggested deliberate action, but motivations remained completely unclear. The hidden truth about why people act strangely before disappearing emerged when frame-by-frame analysis revealed subtle changes in posture, facial expressions and movement patterns that preceded final actions. Victims appeared to experience momentary disorientation, followed by a period of seeming calm or even contentment, before walking deliberately toward the edge of the bridge in a manner that suggested confidence rather than desperation or fear. The victim's mindset during their final moments appeared to undergo a dramatic shift that did not correspond with typical emotional states associated with suicidal behavior. Traditional suicide attempts involve visible distress, hesitation, emotional turmoil, or clear triggers that precipitate the final action. Recordings from the Canoe Creek Bridge showed the exact opposite. Individuals who appeared to achieve a sudden sense of purpose or resolution that was completely disconnected from their previous emotional state. Behind the scenes of the technical analysis of the recordings, consultations were held with experts in body language, psychological profiling, and even specialists in hypnosis and altered states of consciousness. Frame-by-frame analysis revealed micro-expressions and movement patterns that suggested victims might have been experiencing some form of altered consciousness or external influence that affected their decision-making capabilities. As revelações mais perturbadoras vieram quando investigators descobriram que behavior patterns eram remarkably similar across different victims, despite fact que disappearances occurred over several months, involved individuals from completely different backgrounds, personalities, e circumstances. Esta consistency suggested that whatever was influencing final actions wasn't related to individual psychological states, mas something environmental or external que affected people consistently. The decision to classify the images as sensitive was made when authorities recognized that the footage could potentially inspire copycat behavior if released publicly, but also because the images raised questions about the nature of human agency and free will that were philosophically disturbing. Watching apparently rational individuals suddenly behave in ways that seem disconnected from their conscious control challenged fundamental assumptions about personal responsibility and mental capacity. A transformação na understanding sobre what footage revealed incluiu recognition de que traditional categories para explaining human behavior in crisis situations eram inadequate para account para what cameras documented. Investigators foram forced to consider possibilities que ranged from environmental influences affecting brain chemistry a more extraordinary explanations que challenged conventional understanding sobre relationship entre consciousness e external environment. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject because attempts by specialists to scientifically explain the behavior documented in security footage lead us to explore theories that range from environmental psychology to more speculative possibilities about how certain locations can affect human consciousness in ways that we don't fully understand. Attempts by experts to scientifically explain the behavior documented in security recordings lead us to explore theories ranging from environmental psychology to more speculative possibilities about how certain locations can affect human consciousness in ways we don't fully understand. The shift in the scientific approach to the Canoe Creek Bridge phenomenon occurred when researchers realized that conventional explanations were inadequate to accommodate the consistency and specificity of the observed behaviors, forcing consideration of theories that transcend traditional psychological frameworks. The impact of the point of attraction theory emerged when specialists began investigating why this specific bridge developed an attractive power that other similar structures did not possess. Dr. Sarah Chen, an environmental psychologist at Portland State University, proposed that certain geographic locations can develop psychological magnetism through a combination of physical factors and historical associations that create feedback loops, where tragic events increase the likelihood of future occurrences. The journey through the analysis of psychological factors revealed that the influence of height and isolation can create altered states of consciousness that affect decision-making capabilities in ways more profound than previously understood. Research in environmental psychology has demonstrated that exposure to heights can trigger physiological responses that include alterations in brain chemistry, particularly in regions responsible for risk assessment and impulse control, creating vulnerabilities that can be exploited by other environmental factors. The hidden truth about isolation factors is that they not only remove social constraints that normally prevent impulsive actions, but also create sensory environments that can induce altered states of perception. Ponte Canoe Creek's location in a valley that acts as a natural wind tunnel creates acoustic effects that can affect brainwave patterns, particularly frequencies associated with relaxation states, which can make individuals more susceptible to suggestion or compulsion. The scientific approach applied to the phenomenon included exploring possible explanations based on magnetic field anomalies that could affect human neurology. Geological surveys revealed that the area underneath the bridge contains mineral deposits with high concentrations of magnetite and other ferromagnetic materials that create localized magnetic field variations. Exposure to certain types of magnetic fields has been shown to affect temporal lobe activity, a region of the brain associated with religious experiences, déjà vu, and altered states of consciousness. Behind-the-scenes research on infrasound has revealed another potential explanation for behavioral anomalies. Infrasound, sound. Frequencies below the human hearing threshold can be generated by wind patterns through the bridge structure and valley configuration. Studies have shown that exposure to specific infrasound frequencies can induce feelings of unease, disorientation, and in some cases hallucinatory experiences that could explain the sudden behavioral changes observed in victims. as revelações sobre local theories concerning energia negativa acumulada provided cultural context para scientific investigation. Long-time residents developed beliefs that consecutive tragic events havia created cumulative psychological atmosphere que intensified over time. While scientifically unproven, this concept aligns com research em environmental psychology, que suggests que locations associated com trauma podem develop psychological associations que affect visitor behavior através de subtle environmental cues e cultural transmission de expectations. A decisão de investigate seriously theories que transcend. Conventional scientific frameworks reflected recognition de que traditional approaches weren't adequate para explaining observed phenomena. Integration de multiple explanatory models, including magnetic field effects, infrasom influence, height-induced psychological states, isolation factors, and cumulative cultural associations, created comprehensive framework para understanding how various influences could converge para create conditions onde normal decision-making processes become compromised. A transformação na scientific understanding incluiu acknowledgement de que human consciousness e decision-making podem be more vulnerable a environmental influences than traditionally recognized. Combination de factors que individually might be manageable could create synergistic effects que overwhelm normal psychological defense mechanisms, particularly in individuals que are already in slightly vulnerable states devido a travel fatigue, emotional transitions, or other subtle stressors. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject because the official investigations conducted over 15 years have revealed both extensive resources employed to address this mystery and fundamental limitations that authorities faced when conventional safety measures proved inadequate to prevent ongoing disappearances. Comment below. Theories make sense if you're also realizing that the combination of magnetic fields, infrasound, the psychological effects of height and isolation, and accumulated cultural associations can work together to create genuinely dangerous conditions that affect human consciousness in ways we're only beginning to understand. Official investigations conducted over 15 years revealed both the extensive resources employed to address this mystery and the fundamental limitations authorities faced when conventional security measures proved inadequate to prevent ongoing disappearances. The transformation in the official approach to the Canoe Creek Bridge happened gradually, as each new tragedy forced an escalation of measures that eventually included resources normally reserved for high-profile national security concerns. The impact of the implemented safety measures was impressive in both scope and cost. Since 2015, the Oregon Department of Transportation has spent over $2.8 million on bridge modifications that included installing higher barriers, strategically positioned emergency phones, anti-climb fencing in certain sections, and lighting improvements that eliminated dark spots where people could act without being observed. Design consultants specializing in suicide prevention were hired to assess structural modifications that could deter impulsive actions. A jornada através das technological implementations revelou sophisticated systems que rivaled security measures em high-risk government facilities. Motion detectors foram installed para trigger automatic alerts quando people remained stationary na ponte. For extended periods, thermal imaging cameras provided 24-hour monitoring capabilities. The automated voice systems were programmed para deliver intervention messages quando suspicious behavior was detected. Integration destes systems custou additional $800,000 and required ongoing maintenance que strained local government budgets. The hidden truth about collaborating with suicide prevention specialists is that experts quickly recognized that Ponte Canoe Creek did not fit the established patterns that informed conventional prevention strategies. Dr. Lisa Rodriguez, who directed national suicide prevention programs, observed that standard intervention techniques assume that individuals are experiencing identifiable psychological crisis states. Footage and evidence from this location suggested that people weren't following typical behavioral patterns that our interventions are designed to address. A mentalidade behind comprehensive prevention approach incluiu partnership com. Oregon Health Authority, para develop specialized training para first responders, installation de crisis intervention phones que connected directly para suicide prevention hotlines, y development de community awareness programs designed para educate local residents sobre warning signs y intervention techniques. Mental health professionals provided regular training para bridge maintenance crews y law enforcement personnel que might encounter individuals em distress. Os bastidores dos technological systems revelaram capabilities que exceeded typical traffic monitoring infrastructure. AI-powered behavioral analysis software was programmed para identify movement patterns consistent com suicidal ideation, predictive algorithms, analyzed environmental conditions que correlated com higher risk periods, e automated emergency response protocols ensured que intervention teams could reach Ponte within minutes de any alert. Integration with state emergency services created rapid response network key could deploy resources within 15-minute window. The most frustrating revelations for authorities emerged when comprehensive data analysis demonstrated that despite massive investment in prevention technology and human resources, disappearance rates remained statistically unchanged. Measures that had proven effective on other high-risk bridges, including the Golden Gate Bridge and Aurora Bridge in Seattle, appeared to have minimal impact on reducing incidents on the Canoe Creek Bridge. This outcome forced recognition that they were dealing with a phenomenon that transcended conventional understanding of suicide prevention. A decisão de expand investigation beyond traditional suicide prevention included consultation com environmental psychologists, electromagnetic field specialists, acoustic engineers, e even paranormal investigators who were hired as private consultants for frustrated families. Official acknowledgement de que conventional approaches weren't working represented significant shift in government policy que typically resisted unconventional explanations para public safety issues. A transformação na official response included development de unique protocols específicos para Ponte Canoe Creek que differed from standard bridge safety measures. These included mandatory psychological evaluations para individuals found em distress na ponte, environmental monitoring, que tracked magnetic field fluctuations e infrasound levels, e coordination com research institutions que were studying relationship between environmental factors and human behavior. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject because the impact on the local community revealed how residents developed coping mechanisms and informal support networks to deal with living in the shadow of a structure that continued to claim lives despite every effort to make it safe. The impact on the local community revealed how residents developed coping mechanisms and informal support networks to deal with life in the shadow of a structure that continued to claim lives despite all efforts to make it safe. The transformation in the collective mindset of the residents happened gradually, as each new disappearance forced the community to confront the reality that they lived close to a phenomenon that transcended conventional explanation and could not be resolved through traditional security measures. The impact of the bridge's sinister reputation on the daily lives of residents is profound and multifaceted, reflecting decades of adaptation to a reality that balances local pride with awareness of genuine dangers. Margaret Chen, who was born and raised in the region 54 years ago, explains that you learn to live with it, but you never really get used to it. The bridge is part of our landscape, but it also represents something we can't control or understand. The journey through the changes in routine revealed behavioral adaptations that became part of the local culture. Approximately 60% of area, residents developed habits of avoiding the bridge during certain weather conditions or specific times that coincided with patterns identified in the disappearances. Alternative routes that add 20-30 minutes to journeys became common, especially for families with teenagers or individuals who reported feeling strange when crossing the bridge. The hidden truth about how the community is dealing with the situation is that it has developed informal surveillance and support protocols that complement official security measures. Local drivers frequently stop to check on people walking or standing on the bridge, especially during periods identified as higher risk. Local merchants maintain lists of emergency contacts, and have been trained to recognize signs that visitors may be planning to visit the bridge with dangerous intentions. Community mentality has evolved to include a sense of collective responsibility that transcends legal or official obligations. Robert Martinez, owner of a gas station near the bridge, observes that we've all become part of an informal warning system. If someone stops here and asks specific questions about the bridge or seems to be in a vulnerable emotional state, we try to engage in conversation and, if necessary, alert the authorities. The behind-the-scenes story of the formation of support groups for victims' families revealed strength and resilience that emerged from the shared tragedy. Canoe Creek Bridge Families, established in 2016, connects relatives of victims and provides emotional support, legal resources, and advocacy for greater transparency regarding investigations. The group also works to maintain awareness about the dangers of the bridge while honoring the memory of those lost. The revelations surrounding the demolition versus preservation debate on the bridge illustrate complex tensions between safety concerns and the practical needs of the community. Advocates for demolition argue that no safety measure has proven effective and that removing the structure is the only way to prevent future tragedies. However, the bridge serves as a vital transportation link for hundreds of rural residents, and construction of alternative routes would cost tens of millions of dollars that the local government does not have. The decision to preserve the bridge while implementing maximum security measures represents a compromise that satisfies neither safety advocates nor fiscal conservatives. Community meetings have become forums for expressions of frustration, grief, and disagreement about the best course of action. Tensions occasionally arise between long-time residents who view the bridge as an unfortunate but manageable part of their environment, and newer residents who move to the area unaware of its reputation. The transformation in community identity included recognition that they are uniquely positioned to contribute to understanding phenomena that defy conventional scientific explanation. Local volunteers participate in research studies, maintain informal databases of environmental conditions during incident periods, and collaborate with researchers studying the relationship between geographic features and human behavior. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because comparing the Bridge of Lost Souls with other similar hotspots in the United States has revealed geographic patterns and common characteristics that suggest this phenomenon may be more widespread than previously recognized, with implications for public safety in multiple locations. Comment below. The community suffers together if you also realize that the local residents are not just passive observers of this tragedy, but have developed adaptive strategies and support systems that demonstrate remarkable human resilience in the face of a mystery that transcends normal understanding. Comparing the Bridge of Lost Souls to other similar hotspots in the United States has revealed geographic patterns and common characteristics, suggesting that this phenomenon may be more widespread than previously recognized, with implications for public safety in multiple locations. The shift in understanding these locations occurred when researchers began systematically mapping anomalous concentrations of disappearances and discovered that the Canoe Creek Bridge is not an isolated case, but part of a larger pattern that includes dozens of locations across the United States with demographically impossible characteristics. The impact of comparing it to the famous Golden Gate Bridge revealed fundamental differences that make the situation at the Canoe Creek Bridge even more extraordinary. While the Golden Gate Bridge records approximately 25 to 30 suicides per year, its worldwide notoriety as a suicide site attracts intentional visits from people already in crisis. The bridge is 2.7 kilometers long, located in a dense urban area, and has prevention resources that include 24-hour patrols, emergency telephones every 150 meters, and safety nets that cost over $200 million. The journey through the analysis of other locations with anomalous concentrations revealed patterns that defy explanation based on coincidence or local demographic factors. The Aurora Bridge in Seattle records approximately 10-15 disappearances per year on a 900-meter structure, creating a rate that is high, but still within explainable parameters for a high-traffic urban bridge. However, locations such as Beachy, Head Cliffs in England, Pine Ridge in West Virginia, and Cold Spring Canyon Bridge in California exhibit concentrations that suggest factors beyond simple accessibility or notoriety. The hidden truth about geographic patterns emerges when you map these locations and discover common features that transcend obvious geography. Approximately 70% of disappearing hotspots are located at specific elevations between 200 to 400 feet above sea level, often in valleys or geological formations that create unusual acoustic conditions. More significantly, geological surveys have revealed that many of these locations are positioned over rock formations with high concentrations of ferromagnetic minerals. The investigative mindset had to adapt when analysis revealed that these locations share environmental characteristics that can affect human neurology in ways that transcend conventional psychological factors. Research demonstrated that exposure to specific magnetic fields, combined with acoustic effects created by wind patterns and geological features, can produce measurable changes in brain chemistry that affect decision-making capabilities and perception of reality. The behind-the-scenes research into why certain places attract human tragedies involved collaboration between geologists, environmental psychologists, neurologists, and even physicists studying the relationship between environmental conditions and human consciousness. Findings suggest that a combination of factors, including elevation, magnetic field intensity, acoustic properties, isolation levels, and historical associations, can create conditions where normal psychological defense mechanisms become compromised. The most disturbing revelations came when researchers discovered that many of the hotspots share historical significance that predates modern awareness of their dangers. Native American tribes had developed cultural prohibitions against visiting certain locations, often describing them as places where spirits become confused, or areas where earth and sky meet in dangerous ways. These traditional warnings corresponded remarkably with modern identification of high-risk locations. The decision to study international examples revealed that the phenomenon extends beyond United States borders. Aokigahara Forest in Japan, known as the Suicide Forest, exhibits similar characteristics, including magnetic anomalies, acoustic properties that create disorienting effects, and historical associations that have accumulated over centuries. Clifton Suspension Bridge in England and Pont de l'Alma in Paris also demonstrate a concentration of incidents that exceeds statistical expectations based on demographics and accessibility. A transformação na scientific understanding incluiu recognition de que human consciousness pode be mais vulnerable a environmental influences than traditionally assumed. Combination de subtle factors que individually might be manageable could create synergistic effects que overwhelm normal psychological resilience, particularly among individuals que are experiencing even minor stress in transitional life periods. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject because 15 years after the first documented disappearance at the Bridge of Lost Souls, we have reached the point where we must confront the fundamental questions this mystery raises about our understanding of the relationship between geography and human behavior, and what it means to live in a world where certain places seem to operate according to rules that transcend our current understanding. 15 years after the first documented disappearance at the Bridge of Lost Souls, we have reached the point where we must confront the fundamental questions this mystery raises about our understanding of the relationship between geography and human behavior, and what it means to live in a world where certain places seem to operate according to rules that transcend our current understanding. The most profound transformation that the Canoe Creek Bridge provokes is not merely about statistics of missing persons or environmental anomalies, but about our capacity to accept that there are aspects of the physical world that can permanently transcend conventional scientific explanation. The Canoe Creek Bridge remains open to traffic, but with 24-hour monitoring and emergency systems that cost millions of dollars and employ technology that rivals national security installations. High-resolution cameras document every movement, sensors detect changes in visitor behavior, and response teams can arrive on site in minutes. Despite all the security measures implemented, it continues to register disappearances that defy explanation, maintaining its macabre position as the location with the highest concentration of disappearances per mile in the United States. The lasting impact of the mystery on public perception of infrastructure safety was profound, but it also revealed fundamental tensions between our need for rational explanations and our confrontation with phenomena that transcend current scientific frameworks. For the 23 families who lost loved ones in just 400 meters of asphalt and steel, this is not just a bridge. It is a painful reminder that some human mysteries transcend our capacity for understanding and prevention. The journey through 15 years of investigation revealed that the Bridge of Lost Souls forces a confrontation with limitations in our scientific understanding and our ability to protect people from influences that may operate beyond current explanatory models. Dr. Michael Torres, who coordinated interdisciplinary research on the phenomenon, observed that this location challenges our fundamental assumptions about the relationship between environment and human agency. We can measure effects, document patterns, and predict risks, but the underlying mechanism remains genuinely mysterious. The hidden truth about the bridge's legacy is that it represents an intersection between multiple domains of human experience: scientific, psychological, cultural, and existential, that rarely converge so dramatically. Traditional safety engineering, behavioral psychology, community planning, and even philosophical inquiry about free will all point toward recognizing that something extraordinary is operating at this location, even if disagreement remains about the exact nature of this phenomenon. The mindset needed to process a mystery like this requires a balance between healthy skepticism and openness to possibilities that transcend conventional explanation. Scientific investigation can provide partial understanding through documentation of environmental effects, analysis of behavioral patterns, and mapping of risk factors, but ultimate questions about why people are influenced to take fatal actions may transcend current scientific methodology. Behind the scenes of the ongoing investigation is a recognition that Pontecanoe Creek cases require an approach that incorporates not only traditional safety measures, but also environmental monitoring, psychological research, and consideration of possibilities that challenge fundamental assumptions about the nature of human consciousness and environmental interaction. Future research directions include collaboration between scientists, emergency responders, families of victims, and community members who continue to live with the daily reality of this mystery. The most important revelations that emerge from the investigation are that the mystery itself can be more significant than the solution. The bridge forces recognition that the world contains phenomena that transcend our current understanding, and that humility about the limits of our knowledge may be a more appropriate response than insistence on a complete explanation that cannot be achieved with current tools and frameworks. The decision on how to respond to the Pontecanoe Creek mystery reflects broader questions about how society deals with phenomena that challenge established paradigms, an approach that balances scientific rigor with openness to extraordinary possibilities, that respects both rational inquiry and community wisdom, and that prioritizes safety while acknowledging genuine mysteries may represent an evolution in our approach to understanding complex phenomena. Now, I want to delve even deeper into this subject because the Bridge of Lost Souls ultimately leaves us with collective responsibilities, both to honor the memory of those who disappeared and to support families who continue seeking answers, and to remain vigilant about phenomena that remind us that the world contains mysteries that transcend our current capacity for complete understanding. Comment below. Mystery remains real if you also feel that the Canoe Creek Bridge represents more than just tragedy statistics, but a window into aspects of reality that challenge our fundamental understanding of how the world works and what might be possible in places where natural laws seem to operate differently. The Bridge of Lost Souls ultimately leaves us with collective responsibilities, both to honor the memory of those who disappeared and to support families who continue to seek answers, and to remain vigilant about phenomena that remind us that the world contains mysteries that transcend our current capacity for complete understanding. What strikes me most about this investigation is how the Canoe Creek Bridge represents something far greater than tragic statistics or geographical anomalies. It's a window into aspects of reality that challenge our fundamental understanding of how the environment can influence human behavior in ways that transcend conventional scientific explanation. 23 families lost loved ones in a structure that should have been just a safe passage between 2 points, but which turned out to hold secrets that defy our capacity for protection and prevention. The courage of families in continuing to seek answers, the dedication of researchers in exploring possibilities that transcend established paradigms, and the resilience of the local community in adapting to a reality they cannot fully explain, combine to create a portrait of humanity facing the genuinely inexplicable. The Bridge of Lost Souls forces us to confront the possibility that our world contains phenomena that may permanently transcend our understanding, but which still deserve our attention, investigation, and profound respect. Perhaps the most important lesson to emerge from 15 years of mysteries at the Canoe Creek Bridge is that mystery itself has value independent of solution. The bridge teaches us humility about the limits of our knowledge and reminds us that wonder and scientific inquiry can coexist, even when confronted with phenomena that defy conventional explanation. If you've made it this far with me on this journey through one of the most genuinely perplexing geographical mysteries in the United States, you understand that the Bridge of Lost Souls represents much more than statistical anomalies. It's a place where reality seems to operate according to rules that transcend our everyday experience. Comment below, the bridge holds secrets. If you also feel that this place forces us to accept that some aspects of the world may permanently transcend our capacity for complete explanation. Click like if you value this type of research that explores genuinely extraordinary phenomena with factual rigor and openness to possibilities that challenge conventional paradigms. It is this engagement that allows me to continue dedicating time to detailed research and collaboration with experts to bring clarity to mysteries that force us to reconsider our understanding of the relationship between geography and human consciousness. If you want to continue exploring these places where the inexplicable meets the documented, subscribe to the channel, because every week I bring you cases that show how our world contains phenomena that transcend conventional categories of understanding. There's a video over here about another video. Click on it and continue watching, because the universe of geographic mysteries is much more extensive than most people imagine.